Well, hi guys. So I'm filming a current favorites today. There's no way I can do monthly favorites anymore because I never know where I'm going to be. Where? No, I'm always filming here. When I'm going to be filming. So this is a current favorites. It's been a while since I've filmed, so I found it really hard to like cull down what I wanted to talk about so that this video wasn't a million years long. I think I've managed to do that, but I still think it's going to be really long. So it's quite a diverse favourite. There's actually not as much beauty as usual. Surprisingly, I don't think there's any lipsticks, which is shocking because I literally wear lipsticks every day. Am I in the centre of the screen? Yeah, that's fine. So before we get started with this video, please hit that little red button down below and let's get into this. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to start with beauty. If I can find it. I'm going to start with, do I have everything? Give me a second. I have a list, which is unsurprising if you know me. Okay, I've got most of these things on today. I haven't been wearing much makeup recently, and I'll get into that in another video, but essentially I've been super busy I was about to say unsubscribably. Unsurprisingly, because just I haven't been posting at all in life. Anyway, moving on. So one of the things I have been doing a lot is just wearing concealer, no foundation, not even primer most of the time, and either I just pinpoint conceal or I'll pinpoint conceal and use a tiny bit underneath my eyes. So if you're doing that, you can't do the brightening thing because then it just stands out from your skin. And I didn't think I used to like this concealer from Clinique. I thought it was super average, and now I've found this is one of the few concealers for a start with my sensitive skin, but that also just blends into my skin quite effortlessly. So this is my go-to concealer now, apart from when I'm wearing foundation. Then I tend to use another concealer. So I've got this on today, and hopefully you think it looks good. This is the Clinique Line Smoothing Concealer, and I wear 03 Moderately Fair. So I love that concealer, and I use it with this. Now you can see it's battered because there is no brand on it anymore. And thank you to the amazing Sephora girl that recommended it. Finish sentences. This is the Cover FX blotting powder, and I think this is just in light. It's literally just battered. I've hit pan on something. It's a miracle. It's actually so exciting. Love this because I don't feel like it gets cakey. I feel like it's quite light. I can put this in my bag, and I'll definitely be repurchasing this. Along with that goes my two favorite concealer brushes now, and setting brushes, and I'm obsessed with these. I never thought that I would think of concealer and only want to use a brush, but apparently I do. Unfortunately, I don't think you'd be able to buy this anymore, but the Real Techniques concealer brush I also like. I'm just not as obsessed with it as this one. This was part of a set, and I think it was a Christmas set, and this is a Tarte brush. I actually really like Tarte brushes, and this was just like a double-ended concealer brush. So it's just quite dense and round on one end. I don't use the other end as much, but I use this end almost every day, and it just blends the concealer out so well. And I use this Real Techniques, the name has rubbed off because I use it that much. I think it's actually called their setting brush. I think you could also use this for highlighter and it would be lovely, but I think this would be more of like a buffed out rather than like a dense highlighter brush. But I use this under my eyes and to set my pinpoint concealing. It doesn't put on too much powder, though I still manage to try to want to put too much on, which I need to get out the habit of. But I highly recommend this brush. It's also super affordable. I love Real Techniques brushes, especially their face brushes. So it's just tapered and fluffy enough that it puts the powder on beautifully. So essentially that's my winning concealer combo. Moving on, I'm going to talk about two mascaras because this is something I also wear every day. These are the Maybelline does the best mascaras. Maybelline mascaras. This is the Lash Sensational and the Colossal Big Shot. I haven't decided whether I like one of them more than the other. I think I like them equally. They're both really good. I feel like they do similar things. I have quite nice lashes. I'm lucky. They're long. Most mascaras look good, to be perfectly honest, though there's definitely ones that work better for me. They do have different brushes, that's for sure, and I'll show you what the brushes look like, but I think you'd be happy with either one, to be perfectly honest. No, I just got mascara on my bed. No. Don't get on my pants either. This was a bad idea. The top brush is the Colossal Big Shot and the bottom one is the Lash Sensational. So you can see the Colossal Big Shot is a bit chunkier, a bit bigger, a bit longer, and the Lash Sensational is curvier and more slimline. I'll go with these. Let's stay on like the drugstore trend. These are the Maybelline Color Tattoo 24 Hours. And one of them is in 95 Chocolate Suede and the other one is 25 Bad the Bronze. Bad the Bronze is like the holy grail for most people on YouTube. I love these for really fast makeup when I don't have time to do an eyeshadow look, but I want to look a little bit fancier, like if I'm going to work and I know I'm going out after work, or if I've done like a full face, but I just want something really fast on the eye. These are amazing because they last all day. They're really pretty, they're shimmery, and they blend out so easily. I usually just go and grab it like a crease shade or even a bronzer. Just get one fluffy brush, put this on my eyelid with my finger, and then I just brush out the crease. My mum also has Bad to the Bronze and she loves it. It's the only eyeshadow she has. They're like glass little bottoms. They do dry out, but I've had these for like over a year and they're still okay, so just shut the lids. My chocolate suede one, which is a darker brown, I have 4 of these too, but these are my favorite colors. The darker brown is definitely like, I say this is like a nighttime smoky eye-ish kind of color. And then this Bad to the Bronze I would easily wear during the day. It's almost like a champagne-ish, it's a light brown. It's not as chocolatey, hence why it's probably called chocolate suede. On the left is Bad to the Bronze. On the right is the chocolate suede. So you can see that they're quite similar, but one's just lighter and darker. Okay, one more makeup. Come on. I don't think there are many people that got this that didn't love it. I love the packaging, but it's incredibly inconvenient. For a start, to photograph it is also incredibly convenient. Like even now, it's inconvenient to film and it gets super dirty, but like rose gold is really pretty. But like, come on. If I'm doing my natural makeup, like we had headshots for work and this is the palette I went to, this is what I go to if I need natural, effortlessly blended makeup. I know that this is not going to look over the top or overdone or cakey. It's just going to flawlessly blend into each other. You know what I mean. It has a bronzer, 2 blushes. The highlight is meh, but like it's still pretty for like photography. It's not like the blinding highlight, and it's got like 2 finishing powders. It's the most expensive thing I own in my collection by far. It was like 120 Australian, ludicrous. And I do think it was worth it. The only thing that's really annoying is that the bronzer is a little bit too small to really fit any of the brushes in that I like to use. So I almost would have preferred to have 1 finishing powder less and have a larger bronzer pan. But not a big deal. That was a hideous face that I just pulled. I do think that actually, it does break me out a little bit along where I use it because it has a bit of fragrance in it and I have super sensitive skin. So as long as I don't use it too often, I'll get away with it. I also think it's a really good travel palette. However, when I go traveling, I wrap it in like 5 layers of bubble wrap and I put it in my carry-on because I'm that scared of something happening to it. It's my baby. I spent that much on it. But yeah, that wraps up my makeup section. Who knew I spoke English? I'm gonna move on to one hair item. I got this recommendation off, I watched Melissa Alatorre's Alatorre, I hope that's how you say her last name correctly, video on hair care, and I felt like she had like a relatively similar hair type to me. I've got super long hair, it's quite thick, and I've got a lot of it. And this is the R&B hair moisturizer from Lush. It smells like Fruit Loops. Is it? No, this wasn't the one that smells like Fruit Loops. I like the smell of this, and I have demolished it, as you can see. I'm definitely going to be repurchasing this. I put it on my hair as soon as I hop out of the shower and it's wet. I don't really use it when it's dry, but I've noticed that it makes such a big difference to whether my hair is frizzy and to how my curls dry, if that makes sense. Because I've got wavy hair and I feel like my waves dry with a better texture rather than just being like frizzy and all over the place. I think it makes a big difference if you have a similar hair type to me, or watch Melissa Alatorre's video. It was a while ago, it was like a good 9 months ago. Watch that video. If you think you have similar hair types to either of us, I really recommend it. It's relatively affordable. I think it was like 20. I think it was worth it. It's lasted me a long time and I'm about to go repurchase it. Perfume. This is another golden oldie perfume, but as you can see, I haven't had it for that long. I try to rotate through my perfumes because this isn't like super expensive, but it's not super cheap, and I love it. This is one of my favorite perfumes. I think it lasts on my skin really well. I wouldn't say it's, I think I have one that lasts slightly longer, and I'd say then this is the next one. I actually really like the packaging. It's a little bit tacky, but I don't think it's too tacky, and it's one of my favorite ones to wear. What's next? Might go into fashion. So sneakers have become my new obsession, and luckily I can wear sneakers to work. So I did start with Adidas Gazelles, but for this video I thought that I shouldn't bring both shoes into my favorites. So I chose between the two, and I chose my Vans Old Schools in the black and white. I feel like I chose these ones over my Gazelles purely because these are black and white. These aren't as comfy as the Gazelles though. The Gazelles are just like clouds. I forgot the word for cloud. Wow. These aren't as comfy, but they look super cool. I love that they're black and white. I prefer, like these, I just needed like a, they go with everything. I don't think there needs to be anything else said. I love these shoes. I wear these probably 4 to 5 days a week. Another clothing item. How cool is this denim jacket? Like, it's like the official boyfriend denim jacket. It is super baggy. I got it from the markets. It doesn't even have a brand in it. It was $20, but like, how cool is this? It's quite long. Can you tell I like denim? I'd totally wear it with this if it was warmer. And it cuts to like a nice length, as you can see, and it's just super baggy, and I feel like it goes with pretty much everything. I feel like I look cool in it, and it's super relaxed and comfy. And I'm going to move on to this. This is my only technology thing, and I almost forgot about them, but these are lifesavers. If you've never had a pair of noise cancelling headphones or even Bluetooth headphones, which I hadn't until your life will be altered. They come in this case, which I don't actually put in my bag because it's bigger than I need them to be and I can't be bothered. And it does also come with a cord, which is good because they're good for planes, and the little plane adapter. So these are Bluetooth. You just charge them up with like the Samsung micro cable or whatever. I'd say the battery lasts really well. I can sometimes not charge them for close to 5 days, depending how often I'm using them. I tend to use my headphones for at least 2 hours a day minimum. They're touch, which is really cool, though it can be inconvenient sometimes, like if you're at the gym and you like put your arm up here and then you're like changing your podcast. Oh, I haven't put podcasts in this favorite. Quickly, some of my favorite podcasts. Estee's podcast. Oh my god, if you have not watched if you're not listened to Estee Lalonde's podcast, just the way that they're cut and put together and edited, and her voice, just my favorite podcast to date. Also, if you're into architecture or anything like that, The Urbanist is really good. Moving on, segue. Didn't mean to mention podcasts, but like they had to be mentioned. I really recommend these. I got these on sale, so rather than being $700, they were $400, which is still expensive, but I think I definitely get my use out of them. I use them every day. However, if they're not on sale, apparently the Bose ones that are step up, which are around 450 Oz, are really good too. So I found out I have an obsession with stars, and I got this necklace for Christmas, and it is by Kirsten Ash, and I love it. It's a super yellow gold. I'm pretty certain it's 18 karat or 24 karat, and it's beautiful. I love the chain. The chain comes from Kirsten Ash too. I think you'd need to get the chain because it's such a yellow gold. I'm pretty certain it's meant to be worn that second way I showed you, but I prefer the more minimalist this way, and I just love it. I think it's such a pretty little necklace. If you like stars and you like, yeah, I recommend. Moving on, because this is probably really long. I love books. I'm book obsessed. I could probably do multiple favorites videos just on books, but I'm just going to talk, since this has been a while, about one of my favorite authors. I started her series and I finished every single book in these 2 series within like a month or 2, and that's while I was doing uni. They are phenomenal. This is 2 of her series, so you've got A Throne of Glass, And then you've got, I think it's the first book is called, yeah, A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is the third book. And she's got another one coming out at the end of the year for this, and she's just released a novella for this series, which I've pre-ordered, and I will be buying the book that's coming out for this at the end of the year. I'm obsessed with these books and I love them so much. They're fantasy. I probably should have started with that. They're fantasy books. I mainly read fantasy. I'd say they're between teen fiction to adult, and I feel like they've got strong female main characters, and I love it that all of her characters are super flawed. There's none of that unrealistic perfection that a lot of fantasy books have. I also really like that the relationships are imperfect and not permanent, which you also don't get in a lot of fantasy books. I'd say, surprisingly, this is the most popular one, Throne of Glass, and this does end up being my favorite, but it wasn't my favorite to begin with. This was, which is the Court of Wings and Ruin, or Throne and whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever. Both of them are amazing. Read both of their series, just phenomenal all around. I could talk about that for ages. Okay, we're coming to the end. I have one more thing I'd like to discuss, and these are two YouTube channels that, so not really shouting out because they're way bigger than me, but they're two YouTube channels that I'd say are really inspiring me at the moment, which I'll also talk about in another video. But that is, I can't say your name, I'm so sorry. I think it's because she's from Sweden. It's Angelica Nyquist. I want to say Angelica Nyquist, but I know that's not how she says it. She says it so beautifully. But anyway, I will leave both of their channels down below, and I've said down both of them. And then the other girl is Samantha March. I feel like both of them put a lot of effort into their videos. They're doing lots of really original videos. They're really down to earth, original, and they inspire me to come back onto YouTube, which I'm going to talk about more in another video. But essentially, I just want to mention them here if you're not following them, because they're awesome. That construction's really annoying. This is going to be really long, so I'm going to move on and finish this video. I hope you really enjoyed my current favorites. I could have talked about so much more, but I do really love everything that I did talk about. Let me know what your current favorites are at the moment, or maybe just like your most favorite current favorite, or if you liked anything that I brought out anything that I showed you. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Sorry, this was like super rambly and I probably talked ludicrously fast. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye! If you like this video, please hit the like button. That's not what I usually say. That was on my phone. Breathe. Oh my god, I'm speaking so fast I'm out of breath. Let's do up my pants. Can you hear a buzzing in the back? You don't actually need to charge, like they don't use the charge. It's just it's just a general crowd pleaser. I think I need to take a nap.